Kondaa is our newest mega coaster in Europe. It features 150 feet high drop and approximately 3,800 feet of track. You can call it the new definition of mega coaster. Imagine in the 80s we started with mega coasters or hyper coasters which had traditional airtime hills, maybe a helix, out and back, that's it. And then we came with layouts like Superman, Expedition G-Force, Goliath. They brought the terminology mega coaster to a completely new level. We included parabolic airtime hills, which have a completely different feeling than these old style airtime hills. We introduced uplifting airtime, which was not to be experienced before. We also introduced S-humps, for example. Nobody else before did S-humps or S-turns on a mega coaster. From there on, you could also see that competition evolved. For example, look at Canada's Wonderland. There is a Bolliger coaster, very traditional one, also a nice one. But the next evolution you see with Leviathan, which is more or less also a bit here and there inspired of the Intamin mega coasters. So here for Kondaa and also for Hyperion, we are already 20 years after we introduced Expedition G-Force. We wanted to bring the idea of the mega coaster to a new level. The initial goal of Walibi Belgium was to recreate the success of Goliath in Walibi Holland. We inaugurated Goliath approximately 20 years ago. Yes, it was 2002. It was the one with very inventive elements, being the Stengel dive or also S-humps or also the final turn. Walibi Belgium in this context here now wanted to create a new type of mega coaster, featuring everything which is good on a classical mega coaster, completely with newly defined elements. Walibi Belgium pre-selected a land for Kondaa, and luckily this time the land never changed. And the good thing here was, although we did several iterations, we could concentrate really on redefining the elements to bring them to a very high level of fun. It features airtime like crazy, be it the amount of airtime, be it the types of airtime. Riding nowadays Expedition G-Force or Superman, you really feel the transition from airtime very roughly into positive G-Force. So here we introduced with our software algorithms new transitions. You don't see them, but you are feeling them. So it's a very fluent transition from positive to uplifting G-forces and back. It was clear for us we want to integrate somehow the EGF drop from Expedition G-Force. We want to have classical airtime hills, we want to have bunny humps, we want to have S-curve maneuvers. So we pitched the initial idea to CDA, and from there we only changed more or less two elements. One, and this was very important for the park, you go out, you go back, and they wanted to have a very unique turning figure at the mid location of the layout, which is in this terminology the non-inverted cobra roll. What we did here was a bit unusual. We sent out the client a catalog of elements we believe which are good, but we are letting the client to decide. The non-inverted cobra roll was in this portfolio of elements and also was very quite challenging since it has never been done. We have seen non-inverted loops. We have seen maybe also at Hyperion this figure where you turn very quickly, not going upside down, down. And we took inspiration from this, and the challenges here were just the pure length of the element, because it's eating up energy from the train momentum. We had to find a way to transit fluently into those smaller airtime events. We don't want it to have just a turn low to ground. This has nothing to do so much with the cobra roll, but this was a challenge. And then we changed the finale. So the finale was changed approximately 2-3 times because we were always jumping forward, backward from a series of bunny humps towards a hardline roll. Unfortunately, we wanted to do both. Doing the same more or less hardline roll like the Mosasaurus roll at Velocicoaster, you need a specific length. And this length was only available either this or the bunny humps. finally we ended up with the bunny humps. Kondaa is already the start, from our point of view, of a new era of mega coasters. Since we are using completely different design technologies like in the past, it allows us to be much more creative with the elements. The only challenging situation here is mega coasters are getting more and more rare because one aspect is the investment into a mega coaster, and on the other hand, it's the pure amount of size a mega coaster requires. But nevertheless, we already had some new mega coasters in development. For example, there's an upcoming LSM coaster, which is not just an LSM coaster, it features everything. It's a giga coaster, it's the fastest coaster, it's the longest coaster on the planet, which we are doing for Saudi Arabia for Six Flags Qiddiya. This also already drives us forward in our thinking process. But what I believe here for mega coasters, what we will see more creativity in terms of airtime moments, how we transit in and out, and also to do much more fluent choreographies for those airtime symphonies, let's call it like that.